My name is Frank Copeland. I work for Personal Family Counseling Services, Ohio Guidestone, and I represent Carroll County. 3 fun facts about my community are Carrollton is the 10th oldest county in the state of Ohio. It was actually established in 1815 and founded by a gentleman by the name of Daniel Carroll, who was actually one of only 5 men to sign both the Articles of Confederation and the U.S. Constitution. My problem of practice and priority population is alcohol, and specifically youth use, grades 9 through 12. The problem of practice and priority population using our YRBS data that we've been gathering since 2009. Our 2009, 12, and 15 data all shows alcohol being the #1 drug of choice among our youth. 2015 data showed 44% of our youth using and drinking alcohol within 30 days of the survey. SPFS has supported prevention work in our community by funding, for one thing. It's given us an opportunity to do prevention work to address our problem of practice, which is alcohol. Actually, it's been historically a problem, and it's been hard to address. The ideas I would give a new coalition as far as the SPFS process goes is it is a process. It's a very guided process. Have a wonderful team, SPFS team, that'll work with you, through that process. The CRA process, which was Community Readiness Assessment, was a very valuable tool in validating the data that we already had from our YRBS. So it also, it let us know exactly where we were as far as doing the work we want to do, and gave us good direction. What I'm most looking forward to as we continue to engage is mostly outcome. I think I want to be able to do the work and see what the outcome is. We've done our first CLIR submission. It's given us a good baseline as far as where we're at, and once we do the work, we'll be able to do another CLIR submission and use that data to see what kind of movement there's been from baseline to the next data collection.
My name is Stacy Logwood. I am the Coalition Coordinator for the Champaign County Drug-Free Youth Coalition. I'm an employee of the Mental Health, Drug, and Alcohol Services Board of Logan and Champaign counties. 3 fun facts about our community is that if you're hungry, we are the place to come visit. We are home to Marie's Candies, which focuses on homemade chocolate products. We are also home to Mumford's, which makes kettle-cooked chips. And we have one of the world-famous hamburgers, Crable's Hamburger Stand. Our problem of practice is prescription drug misuse amongst youth. Our priority population is our 12 to 16 young people who are in grades 6 through 10 in our community schools. We were able to select our priority population and our problem of practice by looking at years of our Search Institute survey data amongst our young people. We've collected data for the past decade on our 6th, 8th, and 10th grade students. And in that data, we were able to determine that prescription drug misuse is on the rise in our community. In one district in particular, their levels of prescription drug misuse is statistically significant than others, and we'd like to focus there as well. The SPF supports prevention work in our community in a variety of ways. The Strategic Prevention Framework is our backbone. It allows us to look at the big picture problems regarding substance use. It also gives us the leadership skills to be able to carry out sustainable and culturally competent work. As we move through the different phases of the SPF, we have gained a greater understanding of our community, as well as a better understanding of where our community is ready, where our resources are, and how to address this. If I were to meet with a new coalition and introduce them to the SPF, I think I would say to them, if you take nothing else from my conversation, start with this framework. This framework allows you to be data-driven. It uses an evidence-based process that allows you to get to outcomes. If you are busy, that's wonderful. If you want to be effective, use the SPF. Our community is most looking forward to the outcomes related to our SPF process. We are demonstrating effective outcomes among alcohol with using the SPF process, and this will be the first time we get to use this process with prescription drug misuse.
My name is Leanne Rohr. I represent Coshocton County, and I work for Coshocton County Family and Children First Council. 3 fun facts about our community are that we have a restored historic canal town with lots of little shops and some great restaurants, and there's actually a canal boat that you can ride on. It's pulled by draft horses. Really cool ride. Highly recommended if you come to Coshocton. We also have a museum right outside of Roscoe Village, and they have lots of different exhibits, some from America, Europe, Asia, and they have holy stones that were dug up in Newark, Ohio in the 1800s that are very controversial because they're not sure if they were where they were written from or where they came from. But there's Hebrew writing and a picture of Moses on them. So that's kind of interesting to see in such a small little community. So Coshocton's also considered the birthplace of art industry in advertising. There was a man who saw a little boy drop his books. The man owned a newspaper business and was struggling to keep his business open, and came up with the idea of creating canvas bags with advertising on them. And then it just took off from there. And at one time, Coshocton had more artists per capita than anywhere other than New York City. So, some neat facts about our county. We selected our problem of practice and our priority population by looking at a Casey survey that was done in 2013 and 14. And it showed that 9.4% of our county youth reported having misused prescription drugs in the past 30 days compared with the national average of 2.1%. And we picked middle and high school because we felt like that was the area where you see that change the most, where the numbers went up. SPF process has allowed us to teach people how to put a framework around coalition work and to set goals and to work toward a common goal and to work together as a team and to have different roles and really moving forward in the work that we're doing. If I would meet with a new coalition about the SPF model, I would share with them one of the best things to do would be to research it, figure out what it's all about, get a good understanding of the process. If possible, find a training that would allow them to learn the process from start to finish so that they can have a good understanding, and to find another community that's using the SPF who could work with them and help mentor them as they work through the process. The thing I'm looking most forward to as we move forward with the SPF is that not just using the SPF process for our drug-free coalition, but also for some of the other coalitions that we're starting in the community that will really allow us to teach people how to use the SPF. It will help us grow the coalitions, and it will help us to have measurable outcomes for each of these coalitions.
My name is Robin Oates, and I am from Hardin County, Ohio, and I represent Hardin County, Ohio. 3 fun facts about Hardin County is that all of the Super Bowl footballs are made in Hardin County, that Jacob Parrott, who is from Hardin County, was the first Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, and that Gene Autry was an economic savior in the 1920s. Our priority population is middle school and high school youth 12 to 17, and we are addressing underage drinking in Hardin County. Our priority population and problem of practice in Hardin County was chosen because the health department did a survey in 2014, and the data from that survey showed us that underage drinking in our county starts at 13 years old, and so we decided that would be our problem of practice, and we would address underage drinking with middle school and high school youth. I see the SPF supporting prevention work in our community because it is evidence and data driven. So we have to take the data that shows where we need to direct and where we need to look. The SPF will help us with that because it is very data driven. You have to have the data before you can move forward, and it keeps you in line. It keeps you on task, and the flower is very specific. The ideas I would give a new coalition using the SPF is that to follow it diligently, number one, and even though it seems like it's not going as quickly or moving as fast as you would like it to move, there's a reason for that. You have to evaluate, you have to build capacity, you have to look at where your problem of practice is the whole time you're self-evaluating and making sure that cultural competency and sustainability is in the center. What I'm most looking forward to as our community engages in this SPF is that we are going to be able to look at underage drinking with the data and how we can raise awareness in our community that underage drinking is still an issue among middle school and high school youth.
I'm J. Greg Morrison, and I work with Anazao Community Partners with Spark Holmes County, and I represent Holmes County. There are 3 fun facts about Holmes County. Holmes County is nearly half Amish population. Also, there's a nearly 16-mile asphalt trail going through Holmes County where you can bike, horse and buggy, horseback ride, and even during the winter, cross-country skiing. And another thing to know about Holmes County is that it is absolutely beautiful, especially in the fall, to enjoy all those hills and the changing of the leaves. It's just fantastic. Our SPF problem of practice and priority population are youth alcohol use, and that is with 7th, 9th, and 11th graders. Spark Holmes County selected its problem of practice and its priority population based on our PRIDE survey data that we've had since 2008. We consulted our latest data in 2014, and we saw that alcohol was the most used substance for youth, those ages 7th, 9th, and 11th grade. I see the SPF really bringing the community together for prevention work. Too often we find ourselves working in our different agencies and not really collaborating. The SPF can really help out to bring us together as one force in prevention in Holmes County. The ideas I would give to a new coalition using the SPF would be to start at the very beginning, which is to take a look at local data. It's very important that a coalition to reach meaningful outcomes does so through looking at any data that they may have about substance use in their county, and to move forward through capacity building in order to see what it is and that the folks gathered around the table can bring to see some meaningful outcomes for that problem practice. I'm really looking forward to seeing the SPF bring our community to the realization that the youth in Holmes County can be happier and healthier through this process. That the hard work will truly bring about lasting and meaningful outcomes for everyone.
My name is Amy Miller, and I am with Mercer County, and I work for Foundations Behavioral Health Services and Mercer County Prevention Coalition. 3 fun facts about Mercer County is that we have one of the largest man-made lakes called Grand Lake St. Mary's. The second one is that we have a factory that was called Huffy's that made Huffy bikes. And the third one, which is near to my heart, is we had a young gentleman named Seth Longsway who plays baseball for Mercer County, or for Salina to be in particular. And my son got to play with him. He was chosen to play for the Cincinnati Reds, but decided to go and play for Ohio State instead. We picked this problem of practice because our 2011 data only showed underage drinking and it did not show prescription drug use. So we didn't have any data to go off of from 2011, so we just went off of the data that we already had. So that's why we picked the underage drinking. For us, SPF supporting us is by, it's opening the doors. A lot of people know we have a problem, but they don't want to address it. And when we say we've got this grant and we give them the dollar amount of the grant, then they're more willing to just listen to us and let us in the door, and we can go from there. So if a brand new coalition came to me and they said, what can we do to get started and what kind of ideas? First, I would say get doers. If you don't have people that want to do anything and they just want to talk, you're not going to get anything done. You definitely need doers. You need people who are passionate about the cause. Then you come together as a group and you sit down and you write out your mission. You write out what is important, kind of prioritize everything, and say where you want to go from step 1 to 2 and stuff like that. I'm most looking forward to, as our community continues in SPF, just seeing some changes, hopefully. My goal when I go in and I teach and stuff like that is if I can help one kid or I can make a difference in one kid's life, then I know I've done my job. And then when we take the data for the next 3 years, if we can see numbers going down instead of up. We just received our 2017 data, so our numbers from 2011 to 17 really skyrocketed, and my goal is when we take 2018, 2019, those numbers go down.
I'm Jody Salvo. I'm from Tuscarawas County, and I work with Personal and Family Counseling Services. 3 fun facts from Tuscarawas County and the village of Newcomerstown. It's the home of Cy Young, which is a baseball Hall of Famer. It's also the home of Woody Hayes, which is the winningest coach of the Ohio State University. And the third one, Newcomerstown is a small village of only 3,700 people, and it has 2 museums. Really worth the drive to southern Tuscarawas County. One is a Temperance Tavern Museum, and the other one's my favorite. It is an Old Main Street Museum, where you stroll down through a 1900s village, and it has 23 shops. It has a police station, an old saloon, a butcher shop, a hardware store, and you just really go back in time, so it's kind of a neat experience. Our problem in practice is prescription drug misuse, and our priority population is students, youth aged 14 to 18 in Newcomerstown exempted school districts. I see the SPF process and this SPF PFS grant really supporting the work we're doing in Newcomerstown in a whole bunch of ways. But what's been most exciting for me is we had a really neat community of invested community leaders that really did not have the tools, the resources, the support to really tackle substance abuse. So this gave them an opportunity to realize there's best practices, there's a process, there's resources that we can access to come together to really make meaningful change and really target this issue. If I had the opportunity to talk to a new coalition that kind of wants a step forward using the SPF process, I would really recommend, if at all possible, use experts outside of your community, even if you know this process well. Even if you're really grounded in the strategic prevention framework, there's something about an expert coming in that says, this is best practice, this works. Because I think that helps create buy-in. I would also recommend helping that coalition, the members, have meaningful roles. Help them understand that this is a process, that it doesn't happen overnight. I think initially people want to get in and get things done, but help them understand if we do this the right way, if we look at our data, if we build our capacity, if we really intentionally plan and evaluate as we go through this process, we're going to make a difference. What I'm most looking forward as our community moves forward through this process is first seeing a reduction in prescription drug misuse. I think that's a given. But the second is that our community becomes empowered to use this process to tackle other issues in our community and make great changes for a great and healthy community.
I'm Charlotte Van Asdal. I'm from Firelands Counseling and Recovery Services, and I'm from Seneca County.
I'm Nicole Torek, and I work for the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board of Seneca, Sandusky, and Wyandotte counties, and I am also from Seneca County.
Well, 3 fun facts about our community is 1, Seneca County is well known for working together and partnering in collaboration. 2, our local community, Tiffin, the county seat of Seneca County, is the education community, and Seneca County boasts 8 school districts, 2 universities, 2 charter schools, and 2 parochial schools.
When selecting our problem of practice and priority population, we went off of the 2013 community health assessment that was done, and from that we saw that 12% of Seneca County youth in grades 9 through 12 reported misusing prescription drugs. So far with the SPF, we see a lot of opportunities to support our community in the future. We've learned a lot about community readiness, and with community readiness, it kind of shows you where your community stands. I think oftentimes in a community, people put in place projects or implementations of things that the community might not necessarily be ready for. So being able to gauge where the community is will really help us in the future to decide what's the best to do for our community.
Some ideas that I would offer would be to trust the process. The SPF process is a roadmap, and it's a great way for our community to be able to do that process and know that we're going to get the best data-driven outcome. And by using that process, I don't think communities would want to use anything else other than that process after they've already tried it.
As our community continues to engage in the SPF, I think we're most looking forward to our next step, which is doing some listening sessions. This gives us a whole new way to engage community members and to kind of tell them about what's going on, hopefully get them involved, and then just see where that leads into our implementations and what we can do to better everything in our community.
My name is Kim Dooley, and I work for the Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition of Warren County, and I'm based out of the Educational Services Center.
Hi, I'm Vicki Hott. I am the chair of the Substance Abuse Prevention Coalition of Warren County, and I'm also the coordinator for Project Aware through the Warren County ESC.
3 fun facts about Warren County would be that we are described as Ohio's largest playground, and that's attributed to the fact that we have Kings Island Amusement Park in Warren County, the Great Wolf Lodge, as well as the Beach Water Park. Another fun fact would be that we have several sites that were locations for the Underground Railroad during the pre-Civil War period. And a third fun fact would be that we have a horse-drawn carriage parade every December, about the first week of December, and that brings in about 100,000 spectators to that one-day event to Warren County.
Our problem of practice is underage alcohol use, and our age group, our priority age group is 8th to 10th grade students. And the reason that we chose that group was because we noticed in our 5 processes of the PRIDE student use drug use survey that the biggest jump in alcohol use is between 8th and 10th grade. We really want to hit that with some interventions.
We'd like to use the SPF framework to implement projects that address underage alcohol use among 8th to 10th graders in Warren County. If I were meeting with a brand new coalition, I would have a couple ideals because I am brand new to my coalition. The first thing I would suggest is that the individual or group of people look at the sectors involved in their coalition and look at where they can fill in the gaps where they don't have representation. The second thing I would probably look at is maybe developing some subcommittees with the SPF or with the coalition that can help with the SPF grant needs moving forward.
I'm most looking forward to being able to use SPF as a framework to developing culturally appropriate interventions for our community. Sometimes we throw interventions at problems and they're not the appropriate interventions. So I think that's going to be really helpful for us.
Well, what I'm most looking forward to is implementing the SPF within the community and determining where the community readiness lies with our underage drinking population.
I'm Catherine Gade.
And I'm Trish Steiger, and we're from Wayne County, Ohio, and we're representing the Wayne County Impact Group, and we work at 180.
3 fun facts about our community is that we're home to 3 national brands. One of them is Smucker's,
Gojo,
and Rubbermaid. We selected our problem of practice and priority population because alcohol is the most commonly abused drug of choice among 8th and 10th graders, and the numbers increased dramatically.
Our 8th graders in Wayne County, 27% of them have reported using alcohol within the last year, and 45% of our 10th graders. Both of those rates are higher than the national average. The SPF supports prevention efforts in our community because it provides a framework for communities to use and lots of tools that can be adapted and used across the board.
If we're meeting with a new coalition and we want to give you some ideas of how to work with the SPF process, we'd suggest doing a couple things. First, get to know the strategic prevention framework process. What is it? How can it help you? Learn about assessment, capacity building, planning, implementation, and then evaluation. And then look at your problem of practice. You have to decide where you're going so you know what the focus is. That'll lead you along the way. Finally, a community readiness assessment will really help you nail down how your community feels about the process. Where are they at in the process? You need their support to move on.
I would also add, get the data. The data is really important to you so that you know where you're going. Also, pick a timeline and stick to it. Even if you only have a few members who keep coming to meetings, keep moving forward. You can't stop.
As we continue to engage in the SPF, we're really looking forward to seeing where our data leads us in terms of the comparison to what our community readiness assessment was, because we did that and the community says they're at a particular point. So does our data back that up? We're looking to do the evaluation process.